Hello, this is Kevin speaking. I'm here to inform you that, one, I'm sick, so I'm not going to be on the Valleycast this week. But we do have DJ Wooldridge. DJ Wooldridge is on the show. But that's not all that I'm here to tell you. The last thing that I'm going to tell you right now as a sick man is that Steve informed me that he kind of screwed up while he was recording the Zoom meeting, and he didn't have it on the right view, and the resolution kind of sucks. Just kind of sucks. And Steve's a dumb idiot. That's what he is, and you tell him about it. So not only will you see people only when they're speaking, but the resolution sucks, okay? But we're trying our best. Steve just made a big uh-oh, okay? And I hope I do feel better. Thank you for asking about it. Okay, enjoy.
Don't feel like watching movies, so I'll watch people guess them instead. I don't know how it goes. I think it starts with
Recording in progress.
Let's make sure to. And that's why I will never drink diet beverages again. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Valleycast. You may notice that there's something's a little strange here. Joe was wearing the coolest sunglasses I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, those are really cool, Joe.
I like how they go pointy at the ends.
Yeah.
Anything that comes to a good point, right?
Yeah.
Number one in our books.
Exactly.
Well, guys, welcome to the Valleycast. Today we have a very special guest, someone we've had on the show before, so don't get all fucking weird.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Elliot Morgan's here. Out of his busy schedule, Elliot went back to school like Billy Madison. He's in 4th grade right now. What's that like?
Multiplication tables, great.
Are you finding it hard to keep your hands to yourself?
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Are you finding it hard to keep your hands
to yourself? Thank you, Joe.
Why would I be having a hard time?
I'm just wondering.
I know first time around, we know that you were not getting S's on your report card.
That's right.
Are you talking groping? Are you talking about groping?
No.
We need you to be. We need you to. Elliot, your fear of cooties needs to continue.
You Talking Gropin' is my favorite genuine song from the 90s.
Yeah.
I'm talking gropin'.
Honestly, I believe you. That's a song that might have existed because.
You're like, sure, why not? Probably.
Well, because
for some groping in the morning, eve.
There's some pretty despicable music out there, guys. Anyway, DJ's here on the show. We've had DJ Wooldridge here before. He's a friend of the show, a friend of ours. We used to work together back in the day, and you've got an exciting announcement.
I'm making not just a comic, but the third and final comic of the series that I've been talking to you guys about.
That's right. So you've been here for the initial push
and the middle push.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity to thank you all for having me on for all 3 campaigns.
That's what I was gonna say. We have had you on for all 3.
For all 3. Your audience is lovely. They've been very supportive.
People.
They're supportive.
Like
that's not what I heard.
And they've been going over to hellbentcomicbook.com to check out Hellbent. And if you've been following the comics so far, this is the 3rd and final volume. It all wraps up here. If you haven't checked it out yet, you can get all 3 volumes. It's for fans of supernatural thrillers like Preacher and Sandman and Something is Killing the Children. It's got violence and sex and demons and all that.
Whoa.
Sorry,
we didn't talk about this.
Is this like a PG? Is this an R rated?
It's a hard R.
It is a hard R.
It's hard R. So you got nipples in there and muff, or?
Ooh, yeah, we got the whole shebang. The whole
Kevin,
shebang.
you can go ahead and cut all this out.
Kevin, you could cut this filth out.
Just cut the whole shout out to the Kickstarter. Just cut it out.
I want to make sure. That the information is properly provided to the audience. What you're saying is,
yes.
If you missed the previous 2 Kickstarter campaigns, part of this one isn't just the third issue, but you're also going to be able to print the first and the second issues as well.
Yeah, we're doing reprints of the first and second volumes. You can get all three. I think at this point, we just literally, as of this morning, we hit our first stretch goal, which means there's going to be extra pages in the comic. So I think the total comes to, off the top of my head, I think 136 pages total.
Whoa!
All three volumes. Yeah.
How does that feel? That's like you've birthed a child at that point.
It's good. It feels good. It was really nerve-wracking on, like, if the first one didn't do well, then we're just not doing it. If the second one didn't do well, it was like, oh no, we can't finish. Like, and so it's cool because when I write, I try to begin with the end in mind. So we had a full treatment of where we wanted everything to go, so we kind of knew what we were doing, where we were going, and it's cool to see that realized. We are funded. We are reaching our first stretch goal. It is happening. It's not one of those like you're going to contribute, maybe you'll see it. No, it's happening.
I love that.
It's really cool. It's really
You've made a promise and you're going to make good on it.
Yeah.
And you didn't just birth a child, you actually birthed a child, you raised it, and now your child is about to go to college because you're finishing it. How do you feel as a creative and an artist that somebody's been doing this campaign for what? Is it 2 years, 3 years now?
3 years. 3 years. 3 years plus if you
That's
count
crazy.
The, like, planning stages and all that.
Unless
this is like making a movie.
Unless you're doing like extra stuff after this that we don't know about yet. Like this is the end. How do you feel about that as a creative?
Real good, because as you all know, from making things, it's hard. It's a marathon, and especially if you don't know that you're ever going to see the end is going to see the light of day, knowing that it's happening, knowing that we're done. I mean, I'm not done. I'm getting pages as we speak. We're finishing up the comic, but knowing that we can complete it on the terms we wanted to. It's a relief right now. It will probably be a little sad when it's done. Yeah. When it's like gone and it's out and it's like, well, I guess that's it. But like right now it's a relief. It's like, oh my God, we did it. Because it's also, you all did a Kickstarter. Like, you know how like, it's just a roller coaster of emotions. I'm trying not to get too like checking every hour this time. I'm trying to be like, cool it.
You kind of have to just leave it alone and like let it do its thing.
Yeah. They'll let you know if you messed up.
Yep.
They will. Someone will.
Yep. And usually politely.
Occasionally politely. Yeah.
I've heard that like Kickstarter can be this like nightmare landscape from a lot of people before we jumped into it. And what I've found from our journey is that it's been for the most part 99.9%. And even higher than that, like so damn near perfect. Like people are so understanding and kind and conveniently forgetful. They'll be like, hey, I backed this 2 years ago and I just got it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we just imagine that they're like freaking out at home and every day, like getting angrier. And really they're not. It's like they're mostly normal people. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's a cool community. It's cool, and it's been cool. They've been very supportive of this book, and especially since it's kind of like it's a challenging comic. I mean, just for example, like people freaking out at the Grammys about the Kim Petras Sam Smith performance. And it's like, that's tame compared to the stuff we're doing in Hellbent. So it's cool that people are enjoying it.
So does that mean
like?
Oh, go ahead.
Wasn't Sam Smith dressed as like the most like Halloween off the rack version of the devil too? I thought that was very funny.
It was very. Really not only was it funny, but
I know.
Also,
don't these people have money to buy cool costumes?
Yeah. And if anybody's
just jealous,
listen. If anybody's ever listened to music since we've been alive, doing devil shit in music is not new.
Kind of a thing. Yeah.
Can you give me some examples?
Any rock band from the 80s. Literally pick one.
So DJ, like for people who are listening to this and they're like, I don't what is this that you're doing?
Yeah.
Can you just give us the super
follow-up?
Thank you, Joe. I love
follow-up.
Can you just give us the super elevator pitch for what Hellbent is? and what can we expect to see in this final chapter?
So if you go to hellbentcomicbook.com, what you're going to get is a comic that is about Jezi, who is a young trans woman with incredible supernatural abilities. Nefarious forces want to use her to kickstart the apocalypse. So she comes under the care of Nick, who's an occult assassin with a flaming sword. And in the final chapters, the final volume, it's basically 2 parts with 2 amazing artists, Cam White and Heather Vaughn. The first part is kind of our Bill and Bill and Frank in Last of Us, our happiest moment, which is Jezi gets to go to this supernatural gay club called Boogeymen that is kind of overseen. Yeah. Long story. I've had that one in my back pocket since before the series was a thing. I've been waiting to get to the Boogeyman Club for a long time, and which is overseen by Delilah Divine, which is a trans goddess. So it's a cool moment of just joy for Jezi, right before the finale, where we have to confront the ultimate evil, the apocalypse, all the big action stuff. Giant
Jesus
demons. Jesus Christ comes out, and they get in a fist fight. So that's the big climax. That's the thing that we needed the extra pages for, was to wrap it all up.
Yeah.
And kind of like, will Jezi and Nick and our other characters be able to triumph over evil and coming of age story and all that stuff? And I do think now's a good time to talk about it, because if you're a fan of Last of Us and other stories where grizzled tough guy takes care of coming of age young woman, you will like this. That's the kind of the template we're doing.
It's the lone wolf and cub of it all.
Yes. Yep.
Which we're really loving right now in Hollywood.
Yeah. So it's a coming of age story. It's a supernatural thriller. It's got action. It's got everything. And as we talked about, it's got violence and titties and curse words and all that stuff.
So I'll be avoiding it at all costs. But just for our listeners,
couldn't.
When you lost me when you said Last of Us, because that show is too scary, violent, too depressing, and too anxiety-inducing. But thank you for your recommendations.
I'd say The Last of Us is the least scary of all the end of the world zombie shows.
I'm putting in a pin on The Last of Us. We're going to talk about it immediately after.
Okay, all right.
It's done.
We're putting a pin, but I will say that and I do think obviously I want to avoid spoilers. It's our big finale and everything, but
sure.
To the depressing point, I don't know whether it's scary. It is. We do the violence. I don't know how scary. It's a supernatural thriller, but I don't know that it's horror per se.
There you go, Elliot. It's not scary.
But
I like violence. I love violence. Okay.
Yeah. See,
it is no violence. Yes.
To the depressing. Without doing spoilers, there is plenty of story. I co-wrote it with my good friend Jana July. We have a team of creatives of women and queer artists, and we were not interested. There are plenty. If you want to find sad stories about gay people, those are out there.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. We didn't.
I think we've seen a few of them at Fantastic Fest.
We have. This is not that. We didn't want. The goal was not to for lack of a better term, punish somebody for being queer. You know what I mean? It is a coming of age journey. There are challenges that are to be overcome. But the goal was not to make something. I love Last of Us. I love sad, depressing things. That's my jam. But that's not what this is meant to be.
That's good. So even though you love that kind of art, you're not making that kind of art because there's enough of it.
Yeah, that's just not what this. When you guys know, when you're making something, it kind of tells you what it is. It's kind of like, this is kind of what we're doing, and you try to abide in that spirit. Yeah. And so that's just this wasn't the kind of this was ultimately supposed to be more of a triumphant story.
I'm excited about it, man. This is really cool. You have been working on this for so long.
Yeah.
Does it feel like you were making a movie and you're like now it's finally done? You're done with your trilogy, or do you want that to be something reserved for when it really is a movie?
The latter one.
Yeah.
Do
you see it as a movie or a series?
I try to, again, when something you're working on something that kind of lets you know what it is, I kind of always viewed it as a comic. And when I try to keep those two worlds separate in my brain. I don't want to make a comic that's just a pitch for a movie.
I love that.
Netflix or HBO or whatever, if you want to make it, call me. Yeah. I'm easy to reach.
Yeah, Netflix and HBO are our biggest fans.
Yeah.
Great, great members of our Patreon.
They've been asking to be on the podcast.
In fact,
Mr. HBO has been like, get me in here.
Netflix really loves our ad reads.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make something that was intended to be a comic, and it was stuff that like a lot of the movie stuff I write is more manageable as opposed to like giant house-sized demons.
Yeah, you can go big with it's unlimited imagination because you're not like holding yourself back with scale and stuff like that. Can I jump into the minutia of it?
Jump right in, baby. It's nice. Hang on, let me check it. It's warm enough now.
So we can get into the minutia.
It's nice.
This
yeah,
is,
it's not.
Joe's
It's not
segment.
cold.
This is called 20 minutia or less. Go for it.
Here we go. Hey DJ, I'm going to talk about one of the minutia. It was really fast because we're just talking about.
Hey, can you laugh more at Elliot's jokes?
That's a deep cut, my friends. You're talking about you needed like stretch goals to do extra pages, which means some might think a page of a comic book, that's just an extra page. DJ fucking do an extra page.
Yeah.
How much work, time, effort, if you want to throw a financial in there, you don't have to if you want, goes into making a single freaking page of a comic book?
A lot. A whole ton. Comics are not, well, they're not, let me phrase it this way. They're not cheap if you're going to pay people. For example, like all 3 campaigns have been successful. And by successful, I mean, I have almost broken even on each one. The artists have gotten paid. Me and Jaina have not ever taken
Passion
any money
project.
for it. Exactly. And so if you're talking about and I'm paying my artists a good rate, but not like a
almost what they're worth.
Yeah, exactly. And
which is better than what the industry does most of the time.
Yeah, and so like and I'm very grateful that they're, because it is even though they're getting paid, it is a passion project for them as well. And so you've got we got whatever time Jane and I spent on the script. So it was like treatment. Normally what would happen is I'd write a pass, send it to her. She'd do a pass, send it back to me. I'd do another pass, send it back until we're like, oh, it's good. And then
and how much arguing and disagreements would happen in between that?
Actually, not a lot, which is really cool. Yeah, not a lot.
You laying hands?
No.
Good.
And we kind of, because we've been friends since like high school, so we kind of like we kind of know.
You already know each other's stuff. Yeah.
You know the weak spots. I get it.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the reasons that we collaborated on this, is so that like she knows what I'm good at, and I kind of know what she's good at, and we can kind of like complement that. So we do all those passes, send it to the artist. The artist spends like people don't appreciate enough, I think, the amount of work an artist puts into anything. But you know, a page of a comic. Are you
leaving the layout up to the artist as well?
It depends, unless we have something like really specific in mind. That's something I try to be good about. Maybe they would feel differently, but I try to be good about like giving the artist space to do their thing. Again, just like Jane and I know what we're good at, like the artist is the artist. So it's like, unless we have a very specific vision, it's kind of like, here's how many panels we're thinking. Here's basically what's happening. Here's the panels we think we should be big.
Here's the one where the panel breaks a little bit and it squeaks into the other panel. And,
yeah. And so then, they do their whole thing, which is another back and forth. They do thumbs, we give notes. They do pencils, we give notes. They do inks, we give notes.
Ooh, so much work.
Yeah, and then it goes to the colorist, and then it goes to the letterer. And then somewhere in there, normally around the time that we get art back, I do another pass on the script to kind of like, because you will write something and we'll have dialogue, and then you'll see the page. You're like, oh, this art communicates what we need without a character having to like verbalize something. So we edit it. It's a lot of work. And it's a lot, or at least to me, it's a lot of money. And so very grateful for Kickstarter existing, very grateful for the people backing it.
How do you juggle this with everything else that you're doing? Like, how many hours a day are you working on this particular thing versus everything?
It's kind of like phases. Like there'll be, when we're breaking down the script, that's a good chunk of my time, but then it goes away to the artists until they're sending me pages back, and then I'm writing other things, and then you just kind of have to like, I just pick it as it comes. Yeah, exactly. Juggling. That's a great matter. Juggling it is exactly what it is like. Yes.
DJ, what kind of advice do you have for these bootstrap creators out there who look at you and they go, if DJ can do it, I can do it. Let's do it. What do you say to them?
Okay.
Inspire them.
Yeah, I'll get my go-to piece of advice is a piece of advice I got early on when I came out here, when I was asking somebody like, oh, I'm interested in doing this. What advice do you have? And the advice they gave me, and I actually thought this was very helpful, was don't do it. Don't, if you can do anything else, if you can do anything else and be happy, do that thing instead.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, what do you mean? And then but I did think it was good advice, because it was that moment of like, well, I can't think of anything else that I would rather be doing with my time. And so I have yet to do that. So I keep slogging away at this thing, but I think you all can relate that it's like, in whatever you call this, what we're doing, entertainment, showbiz, whatever, the spectrum of
this is showbiz, baby.
This right here to the comics, whatever, it's taxing. It's like emotionally taxing, it can be physically taxing,
and it's awful,
financially taxing,
and it's disgusting.
But if the joy of
it's soul crushing,
yeah, it's like really tough. Like, but if the joy of that, or the passion of that, or whatever that is,
the attention and the fame and the money,
exactly, whatever it is, outweighs the turmoil, then yeah, 100% pursue it. And if you can do that, then you probably will do that. Like that's, but it's just, don't think you're just going to go in like, this will be fun and easy. No, it's not going to be either of those things probably.
Or surround yourself with people who are way more active, and excited to do the things that you can't or don't know how to do.
That's the other, that might be a better piece of advice. And it's definitely true. I think it's true of any collaborative medium, and comics is definitely one of those, is to the best of your ability, surround yourself with people that are better at the thing than you are.
Oh yeah.
Because the secret, I don't know how many people will admit this, but the secret of comics is, I mean, like, how many comics would you buy with bad writing but good art? As opposed
all the time. I used to, yeah, all the time.
As opposed to good writing but bad art. It's
dude, bad art. Like, you open up a page and it's bad art, and you're like, done. Moving on to the next one.
Yep.
And bad art is subjective too. So,
but you surround yourself with people. I am lucky enough for this project and working at SourceFed and a lot of the stuff I've done, being surrounded by people that are way more talented than I am, and that does make it a lot easier.
Yeah, but there were certainly people less talented than you there too, DJ.
You're
a lot. To be honest,
your journey is an exercise.
We have a list actually right here.
We do have a list. Elliot was working it out.
He keeps updating the whiteboard depending on how he's feeling.
Weirdly, with their social security numbers for some reason. That's
so
the
this
weird
is
part.
Yeah,
Elliot's top 5 list of people who worked at SourceFed who are less talented than DJ.
Yeah, DJ specific.
Yeah.
Have you met Trisha?
You remember Trisha?
You remember Trisha, right?
Paytas, not Hirschberger.
Paytas, yeah.
DJ, it sounds like the whole thing is a wonderful, wonderful journey that you've been on. I congratulate you over and over again. It's really, really cool and inspiring to see somebody like not listen to the bad things in their head and work through that and just go for it and complete a project and learn a lot, it sounds like, in delegation and project management.
Yep.
Yeah,
well, dude, listen. And also, like, DJ, as long as I've known you, you're a very ambitious gentleman.
Yes, it's inspiring.
And it is inspiring because despite any potential hardships in your way, you still have found a way to claw through the gristle and the vitriol to get to like what you need to do.
Well,
I love gristle.
This is Steve's segue into Megan Fox, by the way.
Yeah, I was actually going to say,
it's going to be beautiful.
If we keep doing this, I'm going to start getting emotional. So maybe we should make jokes about Megan Fox or something.
Before that, do one last kick out. Where can they find it? What are they going to get?
Yeah, Hellbent. Go to Kickstarter, look up Hellbent, or go to hellbentcomicbook.com, not hellbentcomic.com. I don't know what you'll find if you go there, but if you go to hellbentcomicbook.com, you will go straight to my campaign. There are tiers where you can get drawn into the comic by Cam White, who's one of our incredible artists. I highly recommend it. Those are limited, so don't miss out. We've got incredible variant covers. These are some of all of our covers have been great. I think our covers for this time are just really fantastic.
I love a variant cover because you're like, damn, I got to get that one.
Yeah,
it's the only way to get that one.
And it's been cool for me just to see different artists interpret these characters, especially since it's, comparatively, like, this isn't like a Batman or Spider-Man where there's like a billion comics of them.
Right.
But this is the 3 volumes, so it's been cool to see different interpretations of the same characters. That's been really cool. Anyway, bunch of cool
stuff that's been in your head for how long? Like, how long has these characters? How long have these characters been in your head?
Years and years and years. Yeah, and different.
And seeing different artist interpretations of them must be pretty cool.
It's so cool. It really is.
Do you look into publishing? Like, is that kind of a whole? I'm assuming the world of comic book publishing.
Because Elliot knows a guy.
I know a guy. I know. If you need.
The outside of self-publishing, I may or may not be working on a project that we're pitching to publishers.
Nice.
But
because this one's because once you get publishers involved, then it's like you have to be prepared to kind of lose your baby, right?
A little bit.
And it's like for you, it's like you have almost complete ownership of this thing along with your collaborator. Yeah. And it's kind of nice, right? Because you have final say on kind of everything.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's give and take. Like, it's very nice. We have ownership of everything. We have nobody telling us what we can or can't do. It would be nice to share the financial burden with somebody. That would be cool.
Of course.
So, exciting stuff. HELLBENTComicBook.com.
I love it. Thank you, DJ. And that's a wonderful segue. Sorry, segue. How do you say this?
Gristly segue.
Gristly. Here's our gristly segue. Guys, now's a moment you've all been waiting for. Hollywood. It's time to talk about what's going on in Hollywood.
My favorite part about this segment is that this segment was never talked about. Steve just started doing it. As an asshole thing, 5 weeks ago.
A soundboard?
Guys, Hollywood is Elliot. I want Elliot to stay like that the whole time. This is how much he hates. Elliot hates Hollywood news. Can you imagine? Like, you can't even fake interest. Extra, read all about it. Today in entertainment news, this is fun. James Cameron recalls the night Titanic's cast and crew were poisoned by PCP spiked chowder. Do you guys remember this? Did you guys know about this? You didn't know about this?
You guys remember this? You guys remember watching Titanic?
You guys heard this? True story. You guys heard this? This is a true story, guys. This is actually true. You guys didn't know about this?
No.
Seriously? So on the 25th anniversary of Titanic, which was February 10th, how about that? You feel old yet, DJ?
All the time.
The Canadian director shared some behind-the-scenes stories from the film. Now, this is a famous story from the set of Titanic. The entire cast and crew were, well, I'd rather say dozens of the film's cast and crew were drugged with PCP spiked chowder. This is not a joke.
Yeah. Was that the
That's
moment
it. That's all. That's it.
When
We're moving
Leonardo
on.
DiCaprio
We're moving on.
Okay.
I said. Elizabeth Banks says she's
Somebody tried chowder.
Excuse me.
Somebody tried chowder for the first time that night. That's all I'm saying. Somebody like myself who is very picky of an eater, feeling a little bit of peer pressure. James Cameron's there, Leo, dozens of the cast and crew.
Yeah, the chowder.
You know what? I guess.
Oh God, yeah. I guess I'll try the chowder.
I guess they were. Okay. I'll go into the detail. Normally, I don't go into the details of this news.
No, normally you don't.
Normally, I just read the headlines and move on. Could you imagine a show like that where they're just like, they just read the headlines and then move on?
Audience. I guarantee there's
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
But listen, so they shot this part of Titanic in Dartmouth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I love that the music's still going.
Oh,
I love the commitment.
Steve doesn't. He doesn't choose details relevant to the headline. He just picks the details that his eyes land on.
And chowder apparently is a huge deal over there.
East Coast, baby.
East Coast chowder is the way to go. And so James Cameron says this is a 100% true story. But the craziest part about this story is that there's no like, they don't know who did it. They still don't know who did it.
James Cameron.
Isn't that crazy?
He needed the performance.
Dude,
that's very similar to the reason the all medicine, over-the-counter medicine now has that little seal on them is because of the Tylenol murders that happened in the 80s.
Dude,
that have been replaced with Bad Boys, and they never found the Tylenol murderer either. And
isn't that crazy? There's
shocking fact is despite what Law and Order will tell you, a lot of murders don't get solved. A lot of things don't get solved. Like an upsetting,
as he washes the blood off of his hands off screen.
I think
an upsetting amount of crimes never get solved.
I think
when are they gonna catch me?
DJ, show us the part of your room there of the set that's all covered in plastic. Like
it's
Dexter.
The other way, it's on the other side.
They really do try to scare us with murders being all like, because they always say like you'll never get away with murder, but the truth is that almost everyone does.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if that's the phrase.
Give it a try.
They say that crime doesn't pay, but apparently it does.
Yeah.
So anyway, James Cameron told this publication called Power, I don't know, in a new interview about the 25th anniversary
Nintendo
of Titanic.
Power? It was when he was talking.
Yeah, it was Nintendo Power magazine. He says, "quote: You haven't lived until you've been high on PCP, which, by the way, I do not recommend to anyone." So obviously, for those of you that don't know, PCP is a mind-altering drug that can lead to hallucinations and psychosis, and it can also work as a stimulant, depressant, and anesthetic.
Yeah, am I remembering
awesome.
wrong? Isn't PCP what Ethan Hawke gets in Training Day? Isn't that like he takes weed and it's laced with PCP? And
I guess, yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah. Actor Bill Paxton. Excuse me. What's that, Elliot?
Good movie.
PCP is one of my dad's favorite dad jokes. Where when I call my parents, I'll say, "What are you guys up to?" And my dad will go, "Taking a little PCP."
Yeah.
Does it every time.
Yeah.
It's a good joke.
Yeah,
it's not. I'm on needle drugs, son. Actor Bill Paxton was among those who ate the chowder, but the film stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet were spared as they weren't on the set at the time. At first, Cameron thought the affected cast and crew had eaten contaminated shellfish, which can be life-threatening, so they were all rushed to a small local hospital.
Just overrun that small local hospital.
There was an emergency room with no one in it, and like a nurse and 85 crew members walk in, recalled the director.
All on PCP?
Yeah.
All on PCP. We don't know what's going on, and basically somebody had taken a pound of PCP and dumped it into the chowder.
Is this the sequel to Cocaine Bear? We're gonna have a movie.
I know. And actually, I do have a connection to this story with Cocaine Bear.
I'm not much of a PCP aficionado, but a pound of any drug sounds like a lot.
Sounds like a lot.
I mean, but if it's like a giant vat of it, though, I don't know.
Oh man, or is it a crock pot?
We'll have to test it.
A crack pot.
It's cauldron.
It remains a mystery as to who would want to poison the cast and crew of Titanic, or what their motivation was. Maybe it was the iceberg.
Was it Megan Fox?
It was Billy Zane.
It was Billy Zane. Maybe it was Megan Fox. Speaking of Megan Fox, just kidding. But Cameron has his own theory, and there's all these really funny conspiracies. He says, we have a strong suspicion who it was, although it was never proven.
Kathleen Kennedy.
We believe the story is that somebody who had a beef with the caterers, because the first thing we did was fire the caterers. And, sure enough, we had some leads on that. Of course, the operating theory was that I was such a psychomaniac. He's going to regret saying that, that the perpetrator was trying to get back at me, but I reject that theory out of hand for obvious reasons. And so a lot of people were saying it was like an ex-lover trying to screw over James Cameron.
What I love we think it was people that had it in for the caterers because we sent them all to jail. So it worked out for whoever hated the caterers because we drummed them out of the industry. They never worked again.
It's so interesting because it's like, there's theories like, apparently in the 90s, there were rumors of lobsters contaminated with PCP from drug shipments that were dumped in Halifax and Sydney harbors.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of weird, it's like someone poisoned them. It's like this or that.
A pound is a lot, though.
It's so much. It's so much.
If you dumped a pound of PCP in the ocean, it's not going to affect anything.
Yeah,
it's not going to affect anything.
I know, right? It's just it's gonna be a good time for the fishes.
Yeah.
Speaking of drugs, Elizabeth Banks, who is, I believe, an executive producer on the new movie Cocaine Bear.
She's not directing it? Okay.
Oh yeah, directed it. There we go. Thank you. Sorry.
Excuse me. This is
it. Yeah.
Go girl.
She says that she'd be interested in making Cocaine Shark, Jaws with cocaine. The phrase cocaine shark started trending on social media after New Zealand officials discovered over 3 tons of the drug in the Pacific Ocean. Elizabeth Banks is open to creating a wider cinematic universe of animals on cocaine.
Well, we got land, we got water. Now
we need air. What's our air?
Yeah.
Cocaine eagle?
Cocaine eagle, yeah.
Yeah.
cocaine albatross.
Yeah.
But what about cocaine pterodactyl? We can get Andy Mogren on it.
See, I don't think we want to go.
Dactyl.
See, that's the thing. We can't. That's jumping the cocaine shark. We can't.
You think so?
Can't go prehistoric. Now we can go cocaine flock. So it's just like,
so it's basically the birds
now
with
we're
all
talking. Now we're talking.
Got it.
Now we're talking. Yeah. Because I'm like, what is a creature that is capable of flight that's even scary?
Yeah.
Like it has to be initially scary because it makes it scarier that they're on cocaine, right?
Yeah, man. This is birds times 20.
This is good.
It's like, how those those massive migration moments you see like in Africa of like they're in motion and they're almost creating like words in the sky.
Yeah. Like it says like dead.
Yes.
You're all dead.
They're all crashing into each other.
Yeah. That sounds like a bird pandemic. We should get Whitney Moore involved.
Boom.
It says that while speaking with people on Wednesday, Banks, who's 48, says she was aware of the news out of New Zealand and the online clamoring for a cocaine shark follow-up movie. She says, I've seen that. If there's a great story, then sure, Banks tells People, when asked whether she would tackle another project featuring an animal on cocaine.
Are you guys gonna? Oh, go ahead, DJ.
Just the idea. If there's a great story, you're making Cocaine Bear. Clearly, what do you make the story? Like, don't pretend like it's gonna come out of nowhere for you.
I know, right? Well, they even like changed the like real life Cocaine Bear story a little bit for the movie. So it's like
just a little.
I was gonna say, I think they took Bear took cocaine and probably fell asleep.
No, there was definitely a love interest and and a falling out.
They tweaked the true story. Good Lord.
Just a little. And so anyway, the quote is Jaws with cocaine. I don't see how that loses, she says.
Are you guys going to go to Cocaine Bear in the theater? First question.
Yeah, well, they're doing, absolutely. Because it's like Snakes on a Plane, right? Like, remember when Snakes on a Plane was like
it's
before.
Bears on cocaine, snakes on a plane.
Exactly.
Remember Snakes on cocaine? How about that?
On a plane. Bear on a plane.
Also, do you think Cocaine Bear versus Cocaine Shark would be an interesting?
That'd be a great third.
That's how it's like Kong versus Godzilla.
Right.
Yeah.
We got to do this
There's
cocaine.
There's got to be a third animal at the end of that, though. There's got to be a tiebreaker.
The CCU, the Cocaine Cinematic Universe, needs to happen. It's funny how like Snakes on a Plane was like, that movie was popular before it came out because the name alone. And I feel like Cocaine. And Sam Jackson
one moment in the trailer
being attached to it. Yeah,
Speaking
but Snakes on a Plane came out, and then people were like, okay. Do you think the same?
It didn't live up to its hype.
It didn't.
Is Joe pulling out a copy of Snakes on the Plane? Is that what's happening right now?
Joe's got a snake. Joe's got a snake on cocaine.
No, I have a gripe. I have a gripe in relation to Cocaine Bear, though.
Okay, what is it?
And I feel like the loss of an art as of recently, and that would be, I feel like the Cocaine Bear trailer shows fucking 90% too much.
This is why I don't watch trailers, because I haven't seen it. I haven't even seen it.
Barely nothing, and everybody would have went, but they show like fucking characters dying, like spoiling the movie.
I don't want it.
You see the whole thing.
You see the whole fucking thing, and I feel like that is the case for most trailers these days. All second trailers for sure. Some first trailers still have an art. Like the art of the trailer is fucking dead.
I agree, because it's like everything's bite-sized and everything's like TikTok and
what the fuck is up with the trailer before the trailer?
I hate the trailer before the trailer. You're about to see a trailer, and it's like 30 seconds of the trailer, and you're like, can I just
watch the trailer? I think more egregious. See, at least with Cocaine Bear, you have the argument that this is something that people aren't familiar with, so you got to sell them on the concept of Cocaine Bear, what we're doing. What I thought was more egregious was the new Fast X trailer, where there's certain like moments where I'm like, well, why did we're seeing it's a fast movie, we're seeing it. Like, why are you going to show me
everything?
This bit's like,
oh, here's the biggest stunt in the fucking thing, and how the stunt ends.
Guess what?
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, this is where we're going.
I also didn't watch that trailer, and I'll tell you exactly what I say every time I do this Hollywood segment on the Valleycast, which is stop watching trailers. Stop watching trailers.
Stop watching trailers. Just go see the movie.
What'd you say, Elliot?
Steve forgot the name of the podcast.
I did forget. I did. I actually did. But speaking of cocaine, go ahead.
With the trailer thing, I will say, same with the Oppenheimer trailer. I'm starting to get a feeling I know how that one ends too. You guys,
should start.
It's too much, man.
Kind of like Titanic, right?
That's the movie I'm most excited for.
Me too.
I'm like, totally with your dialogue, please.
I know, and I want to see it in IMAX and everything.
New Tears of the Kingdom trailer for our.
Yeah, dude. I mean, come on, Elliot, save it for your video game news.
That was great, and don't know if I'm excited about it, but it was fucking crazy. Toy Story 5, Frozen 3, and Zootopia 2 all announced at the same time.
I'm done with Toy Story. I honestly am. I have such a love for the original, and the other ones are fine. They need to stop making Toy Story movies.
I loved Toy Story 4, but it's also like, you could.
We're done.
There's only so many times that you can keep revisiting this well.
And you know what's gonna do? They're like in the writing room, and they're like, "How do we make everyone cry or scared this time?"
No.
They got it becomes a skeptical spectacle at that point.
Little Andy is now middle-aged, and he's having an existential crisis, and he has a nostalgia kick, and he wants to recollect all the toys from his youth, and it's a fucking action movie.
Ooh, that's cool. Like he goes on an adventure to find them all.
And it's more about Andy.
Sell me on Toy Story 5.
More about Andy this time, guys. That's the fucking
but
twist.
You know what? Let's go. Here's an even bigger twist. All the trailers are like CG, and it looks like it's going to be like Toy Story, but when you go to the movie theater, it's all live action.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
They're like, we filmed it with this cutting edge live action technology.
Yeah.
The actors actually on set for once.
Camera.
Tom Hanks and Tim Allen are together in live action for the first time.
They haven't seen each other in 25 years in person before.
Actually, Tim Allen's a good segue because of cocaine. And speaking of cocaine and Tim Allen, Margot Robbie, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Margot Robbie recalls recently that she found Leonardo DiCaprio's cigarette in her butt crack after a sex scene. When they were filming The Wolf of Wall Street.
Good movie.
Apparently, Leo was looking for his cigarette in the scene, or before they were going to shoot the scene, and he couldn't find it, and they were all looking for it in the bed, and apparently Margot Robbie sat on the cigarette and said, "I think it's literally in my crack."
Can you say that in an Australian accent as loud as possible?
Just what? Who, me?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's in my crack. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Crikey! I think it's in me crock.
Okay, that's exactly what she said.
I felt like I was there. I felt like
Crikey,
I was
I'm Bobby.
This just sounds like a very elaborate, like Leonardo DiCaprio, like magic trick that he's doing at the party.
Yeah.
Resentment,
Listen, this is exactly the
your
reason.
cigarette?
This is why we need intimacy coordinators on set, is for moments exactly like this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly
so
like
so
that.
she said I was looking around with him, both sitting in this bed, and then I went, "Oh, I think it's literally my butt crack. I'm sitting on it."
It's your cigarette, sir.
And Leo's like, "Yes, thank you so much."
That's so nasty. I went and saw Penn and Teller on Friday.
Okay.
And Penn,
Excuse me, I'm not done.
Segue.
Penn
not done.
almost had a health problem.
Whoa,
Almost
what?
died during the show.
What are you
What
talking about?
Keep
How's
going.
that for pop culture news?
Is this news? Is this news or are you?
I was watching the Penn and Teller show, as I do every month.
No.
What happened?
Unlike Penn and Teller didn't
Why is everyone
upstage
quiet?
each other. And so Penn goes over to Teller and starts mouthing something. And he goes, and then I thought it was part of a bit. And he starts going, needles. And I was like, oh, that's funny. He's just like mumbling things. They must know each other so well.
Yeah.
Penn leaves. And then Teller does his needle routine where he eats and swallows needles. And then
Oh, so he's like, do your needles routine so I could go do something.
he comes back out on stage and he's like, you would have liked that a lot more than what I was going to do. Turns out I just had surgery on my ear 2 days ago. And when I got up here, I suddenly became incredibly faint and nauseated. And I had to go backstage and have water and calm down.
Wow.
Whoa.
And I'm okay. And then they finished the show like the
No
pros that they
way,
are.
and he was fine. Which one? Which
Yeah.
one?
Penn, the big one.
Penn
The big
Jillette.
one.
One that speaks.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So he just probably shouldn't have been performing so soon after surgery.
Yeah, but they just can't stop. They're like, speaking
They're
of the
professionals.
creative, whatever. Yeah, they are like the.
Was this at the Rio, Las Vegas?
No, this was at Palm Springs.
That's nice.
Casino or something. Yeah, but
Was-
I
anyway,
love
it's-
Penn
Were
and
you
Teller.
it was so
reminded?
crazy.
Were you reminded, like, very swiftly of what, like, true, incredibly talented, charismatic performers are? Like,
It was so beautiful. It was
like
like
so
old
professional.
school.
Yeah.
Like you feel totally trusting in a show like that because you can tell they've been doing it for like, they said they've been working together for almost 50 years at this
Oh my
point.
god.
And they are still
Yeah.
able to go out. They've done over like 800 or I think thousands, I think they said, of bits that they've created.
Yeah.
Whereas like most magicians will do like a few dozen in their lifetime. Really crazy. And so the whole time they're just like, look at him go. And then Teller's so dang cute.
I know. You just fall in love with Teller every
Anyway.
time.
I
What a
apologize.
show,
You
dude.
said-
No,
you
I
said
think this is very in line with
It's so
Hollywood news.
the cigarette in Margot Robbie's butt reminded me
Reminded
of
me
the
of-
magic show where one
Yeah.
of the magicians
It's-
almost.
Do you think
Almost
Leo
died,
kept
yeah.
that cigarette, or do you think he just threw it away? She
If he
says
was
he threw it
dead.
away.
He's got so many cigarettes and butt cracks around the world.
Yeah.
He's
Penn
got
and
a
Teller,
collection.
Oceans are filled with butt cracks and cigarettes. And
Penn and Teller being around and together for 50 years, reminds me of our friends Chris and Paul a little bit. which I love.
Totally, I agree.
But the fact that we us collective humans, especially Gen Z, we don't realize that they've been relevant for fucking ever too. When SNL
Totally.
started, they were in the early episode.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. They made a movie. Did you see? Did you know there's a Penn and Teller movie?
no.
no?
It's called Penn and Teller Get Killed, and it was from the '80s, and
Right.
it's really weird.
Yeah,
As
that
it should
sounds
be.
really weird. They're
And
they're
yeah,
interesting people.
I love them, and obviously Penn and Teller's Bullshit was a great fucking show on
And they still
Showtime.
do. What's the one that they still do now? It's like
Oh, there's the one
Fool Us,
Fool Us is
where
great.
I really like Fool Us.
That's good reality.
What was the one? Is that the one where they debunk magic?
Well, I don't
They try
debunk
to-
it. They
Or
have
they try to guess
They
how
have-
it's
yeah.
done?
Allison
That's
Hannigan.
a
is the
great
host of
show.
it. Yeah,
That's a
it's really,
good
really
concept. Good concept.
really good.
Did you guys ever see Penn and Teller's Bullshit on Showtime?
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god, you guys! It's called Bullshit, and it's them like taking every potential topic from like psychiatry all the way to like religion to like whatever, and they try to call bullshit on it.
Yeah.
And they do this super intelligent deep dive into like, you know, things like psychics and the spirituality and things like they do like those psychic phone number hotline things. Like they do like a whole, it's just an amazing show.
Well, that was the one that they found out was real. That was the one they were like, no, totally.
Yeah, they're like, this one's real.
It's a real one. That's the real. We can't, for some reason, we can't debunk it. Yeah, it's crazy.
2 more quick pieces of news here, and then we'll say goodbye or we'll move on or whatever. We're getting to the biggest headline in entertainment news today, which is something's up with Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, for the first time? That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Never heard of them
You won't
either.
believe it. But Joe and maybe DJ might find this news interesting. Apparently, I think Joe will find this interesting.
What is the Venn diagram we're in here right now, DJ?
Well, you'll
What's going
find
on?
out. You'll find out. I don't think Elliot will give a fuck. So, okay, hold on. Let me tell me if I'm right once I read this.
Okay.
I don't think Elliot will give a fuck, but nothing on Elliot. I just think it's something he
Elliot's
has no.
circle is way over
Elliot's
here.
Over
too-
there.
It's not
Elliot's
crossing
too
any
young.
of the other
Here, I
circles.
Elliot's
might
too
be in
young.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Elliot's too young.
Oh, so this is an age thing. Got
Yes,
it.
yes. But Elliot, maybe you'll be interested. I don't know.
Yeah.
Joe, you'll know exactly what's up and maybe be excited. And
Yeah.
DJ, I don't know. It's
Okay.
a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a fan. I have a feeling you're a fan of this.
Okay.
Warren Beatty has teased that he's working on a new Dick Tracy movie.
Shut up.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Am I right? Was I right, Elliot? Do you care about this news?
We nailed it.
DJ?
I mean, first off, Warren Beatty still alive?
That's what I first thought.
Elliot, do you know who Warren Beatty is?
Yes, he does the salad dressings. Next
Okay,
question.
good.
No.
Are you
Good
thinking
joke, though. Great joke.
That's very good. Warren G is working on Dick Tracy.
What I love, what that takes me back to is this incredible moment in cinema history where Tim Burton's Batman made
Correct.
an ungodly amount of money.
Yes.
And Hollywood's reaction was, wow.
Let's do every comic book we can.
No, let's do pulp heroes. Let's do the Phantom, the Shadow, Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is that? I'm not against it. I like a lot of those characters, but why was this the instinct?
It's like
What
the
was-
lowest stakes
Yeah.
characters they could possibly think of.
It wasn't like Spider-Man,
No,
Superman.
no.
It was like, yeah, the Phantom. Ooh,
Let's do
Dick
that.
Tracy.
Yeah, kids love the Shadow.
Yeah.
The Shadow. Fucking A. God
But yeah, Warren.
Darkman.
But here's the
Darkman-
thing about
Darkman's
Dick Tracy.
great.
This Dick
Darkman
Tracy.
is great.
Sam Raimi,
I know.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Darkman's
Sam Raimi
great.
and Liam Neeson.
I want another Give me another Darkman. That's the news I want.
Don't worry, Elliot. We're getting to the Megan Fox, Machine Gun Kelly
Thank
news
you.
very soon. But the Dick Tracy movie is being teased by Warren Beatty in a bizarre fashion.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Warren Beatty is Dick Tracy again, and this time he really means it when he says it's time to make a new Dick Tracy movie or TV series.
Give me TV series before you. Give me
Right?
movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
This was a huge deal, this movie, because fucking Madonna was all up in it.
Al Pacino.
And this was when Madonna was, I mean, the cast is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you
I
about to say
feel
about
like-
Madonna, Steve. Did you have something to say about?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's some low hanging fruit
Madonna
here with
had a-
Madonna, but I'm not
Yeah.
gonna.
Well, you know,
I'm not
Madonna-
It's enough to just know that you're surrounded by fruit, and that's nice. And it's
Madonna could play one of
Yeah.
those gangsters now, I think.
There you go.
Right?
Probably effectively. She is fucking
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
great
she's
in a
really
league of their
talented.
own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, without makeup. Last time Beatty did one of these bizarre turns in character was for, did you even know? I didn't even know about this. In 2011, he did a Dick Tracy special.
I heard about this, but I don't remember seeing
I don't remember this at all.
Wasn't it like I thought it was like an ad or something. Like
It
maybe
says he
on-
appeared in character in order to be interviewed by film critic Leonard Maltin, where Tracy talks about Warren Beatty as if he's someone he worked with. Is Warren Beatty like crazy?
He pulled like a Man on the Moon. He pulled.
It says here it says here that it's bizarre and you should feel free to watch it yourself. It's online.
Did this motherfucker buy the rights? Is that what's happening?
It must
Nobody
be,
else-
right? It must be.
Nobody else can do Dick Tracy. We
Nobody
haven't
can do
gotten
Dick
enough.
Tracy.
But check this out.
Warren
Apparently,
fucking
I know. Oh, he's the only one that gives a shit.
90-year-old Warren Beatty won't give up the rights to Dick Tracy.
But check this out. It's
Warren
not.
Beatty, he's seeing the trailer for the new Indiana Jones, and he's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
it's time. It's my time."
Dude, you know what's funny? Every comic book convention I go to, I always like it's exciting because I love the Rocketeer, but I always see some Rocketeer stuff going on at conventions, and I'm always like, what's going on with Rocketeer? And it's always like whoever owns the Rocketeer is trying so desperately to like do some kind of Rocketeer thing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, if they were to do a new Rocketeer thing, they should get like Janelle Monáe or someone like that to just be like the new Rocketeer and just make it like a 1930s noir like spin.
Yeah. Well, because the kids love 1930s noir. Like it's really big with the.
But you know what? Yeah, but if you get Rihanna, but if you get Rihanna in there, or you get like you get some. I'm just saying.
Listen, I'm a for. I literally just last night I just watched The Man Who Wasn't There, the Coen's noir.
Well,
movie.
yeah, we love
I'm all
noir
about
and
it.
stuff, but if you get like hot ladies doing noir, that's always going to be relevant.
Did you hear about this? They're doing, for those that watch Spider-Verse, they're doing, Amazon is doing a live action Spider-Man noir show.
Oh yeah, with Nick Cage, right? Or they want Nick Cage?
I don't know, but it's like, but okay, I guess. I don't know. But Steve, to your Rocketeer point, did you know this? That I believe Disney still owns the rights to the film stuff with Rocketeer. The animated What If show that's part of the Marvel Universe, the showrunner of that pitched to Kevin Feige. He's like, he wanted to do an episode where Captain America and Peggy Carter team up with the Rocketeer. And Kevin Feige was like, no, we're not doing that. And it's like, why? That'd be so great.
Damn it.
Wait, Disney Imagineer pitch. They'll never make it because it's the Rocketeer.
Yes.
So we take the idea of California's Soarin'.
Yes.
Where you're like laying like this, and to make the ride work for a bunch of people, it's like you bring like 100 people in per ride, and they're in their individual like laying next to people, kind of out like this, but it's VR. But it's like the same thing where they're jostling you around.
Dude,
and
I'm telling you, there's a world. There's a world where they cast an incredible young actor to play the new Rocketeer, and there's like a timeline where that happens.
Thank you.
Anyway.
I'm the Rocketeer.
That is his catchphrase. That's what he says.
Hi, I'm the Rocketeer.
Yeah. Put your arms out. There he is.
There it is.
It says I would love that. It says here that Dick Tracy Returns is something that Beatty has been working on. He exclaims is what could be very well the new title of the movie or series if we actually believe that he had any intention of allowing that to happen. And this was his latest attempt to clutch those film and TV rights a little longer.
Holy shit, we're still talking about Dick Tracy.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the end of that news. So we might get a new Dick Tracy. And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, something's up
Venn
with
diagrams of interest coming together into one orb, the glowing, hot with fire and interest.
We should make this thumbnail with Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly and make it seem like we talk about it the whole time.
Yeah.
We got DJ in there.
Can we make? Yeah, we got DJ, but it's Machine Gun Kelly cuddling up next to DJ.
And DJ's like,
Megan Fox is like the meme. Like,
she's holding the comic.
Yeah, and DJ's like,
wait,
I don't know.
I'll give you the thumb still.
There it is.
There's the thumb still, Kevin. Have some fun with it.
Yeah.
So apparently Megan Fox hints at Machine Gun Kelly split.
And that's our time for everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. By deleting their photos from her Instagram.
And following Timothy Chalamet.
And
And Eminem.
quoting Beyonce's Lemonade. What does that mean? The actress, who's 36,
Megan
does that
Fox's
make you feel
Beyonce.
old?
Goodbye.
Hinted at the possible breakup between herself and the musician, who's 32, on Instagram Sunday when she uploaded a post and captioned it with lyrics from Beyonce's 2016 album Lemonade. There's a photo of her burning something, and it says, "You can
It's
taste
letters.
the dishonesty. It's all over your breath." Fox wrote alongside her post, which included photos of herself and a video of an envelope being burned in a fire pit.
I genuinely could not give less of a crap.
I'm actually very upset because I thought there was actually going to be a little bit more to this, Steve. I want to fight you right now.
This is huge news, Joe.
See, I think the problem here is it's hard to take this seriously because I don't know if you guys knew this. The rings they made, she can't take off.
She can't
without
take it
her.
off.
So
They're-
there's not.
You're right.
They're stuck
That's
together.
actually,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
who could've
saying. There's a
seen that
lot.
coming?
There's a
Yeah,
lot
you know.
more to this, guys. In the comments section, one fan suggested that Kelly was unfaithful in the relationship,
No.
writing
Asshole.
he probably
No.
got with Sophie. In response, Fox joked that it could have been her it couldn't or could have been her commenting, quote, "Maybe I got with Sophie." Ooh.
You know who we need on this to figure it out? Dick.
Let's get Dick Tracy on the.
Dick Tracy on the case.
I
Let's
think
get
Dick
90-year-old
Tracy-
Warren Beatty as Dick Tracy
We need-
on the case.
And Dick
We need a
Tracy
90-year-old
did.
Warren Beatty.
Dick Tracy did fight Machine Gun Kelly in the 30s.
Wait,
Imagine-
what if you,
No, imagine a world where, okay, guys, I think we stumbled on it. Imagine a world where Dick Tracy, there's no need for a 1930s detective, noir detective in today's society, but TMZ needs people to dig up shit on fucking celebrities and
I think-
couples breaking up.
I think Joe's onto something here. Have you guys watched that show on Peacock called Paul T. Goldman?
Yes. As a matter of
All right.
fact, DJ, you were on a show where we had the director Jason Walliner and Elliot interviewed him.
It's true. You can
I need
Last
to go
week's
back
episode.
and watch. Oh my God.
The episode
I'm
before
so
last.
jealous
Yeah.
because I have so many questions. I have so
Yeah.
many questions, but
Elliot
sorry,
asked
I
them
don't
all.
wanna-
Elliot
oh
asked
my God,
them
I'm
all.
gonna go watch it. This is a great
Please
plug
do.
for that video. I'm gonna go watch it. But we need to do something like that where we get
I know.
Warren Beatty as Dick Tracy solving we're solving the PCP clams,
Yeah.
solving the Megan Fox stuff.
Yeah,
all the pieces
dude,
are there. Yeah, we
dude,
just got-
Warren Beatty as Dick Tracy solving Hollywood like
Mysteries, yeah.
unsolved mysteries is so fun,
Nailed it.
dude.
Give
That's
us
great.
a call, Warren
Yeah.
Beatty, before
Yeah.
you
All right.
kick the bucket.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck to Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. I'm really sad, and this is like heartbreaking because
such a dick.
I really
Like, I'm-
thought love was real.
I thought there was going to be a legitimate, like, kind of interesting twist to the story.
No,
You're
Come
such
no,
a-
there's nothing.
Come
interesting. That's
on.
so right. over the plate.
You're
They
such
were
a-
boring when they were together, and they're boring in their breakup. The most
You guys
boring
did-
people that people pretend to find interesting.
You know what though?
Oh.
I'd rather hear about them than the Kardashians, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you know,
We don't have to hear about any of
They're
it.
Yeah,
really
that's
the-
true.
both sides of the sword, I guess. Anyway,
Here,
DJ,
things that we didn't talk about because Steve's about to do the outro.
Shut up.
Next,
Shut the
next
fuck
time
up.
you're on, DJ, we'll
Yes.
talk about Last of Us because I know you have opinions.
Oh, we got it's so good.
well, just do it. Tell us what your
It's a
opinions
great
are.
show.
It's so good. Have any or all of you played the game?
Yeah.
No.
Ellie. Okay, I was going to say. Okay, well then no spoilers. But
Don't need to enjoy the show.
you don't need
Definitely
to
don't
enjoy the
need
show. Also, it's so good. It's just a great example of how to do an adaptation about
Yeah.
like what to do and what not to do.
You think it has something to do with the guy who worked on the video game being heavily involved in the show? Maybe
It-
that's something they should do in the future.
It probably doesn't hurt. It
Maybe that's a
doesn't-
good idea. I don't
Good
know.
for him for letting his prior creation grow and flourish into something new. That's very
Different.
hard to do, I think. And the
Yeah.
fact that he's helping that happen is what is leading to a lot of the success.
Yeah, because I don't not to whatever, but like for example, like you watch something like Sandman, and you can kind of feel Neil Gaiman being like, "No, it needs to be my thing. It
I
needs to be what I
know.
made."
I know. That's why it's good that we don't have the guy
I like DJ's
Alan
Neil.
Moore.
I want to hear more of that guy.
No, it needs to be.
of my thing.
Wait, you gotta sound
My thing.
older. Can you sound older?
I got to and British and be way more successful. So like Joe was mentioning, like the ability to like let it become something different, but not like it's still core to the ideas. Because I've been replaying the game as I'm watching it, And so it's cool. Like the whole previous episode, last 2 episodes are some of my favorite parts of the game. But in the game, it's just like they're raiders. They're like Mad Max raiders that you're murdering.
They're bad people. They don't have a backstory.
Right,
Yeah, and so
right.
you get a scene where like Ellie shoots the guy. Spoilers for the show. Shoots the guy, and then that whole moment where he's begging for his life, and you're like, oh, this is just a person. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, like.
All people just
Yeah,
survive.
that was a brutal scene. Like that was more brutal than any of the the violent like creature deaths or anything
Yeah.
like that.
No, yes.
Yeah, and,
Elliot's short circuiting.
there's one,
Elliot,
there's
are
one.
you-
He's thinking of one of the most recent one. He's thinking of one of the. I know what he's thinking about.
Elliot, are you watching it with your wonderful and beautiful wife, Grace?
Yes.
And what are her thoughts on it? Can you share those?
She says it's like being in an abusive relationship, and we're gonna keep watching it, and we can't watch it the last thing at night, and we can't watch it. We need to watch it
During the
early
day?
so that we can watch something else afterward, or watch
Mhm.
supermarket sweep in order to cleanse our palate. But
Yeah.
also enjoying it. Yeah.
But I love that. I wish I could watch it with you guys because I'd love to hear your commentary out loud.
It's a lot of going. Oh,
Oh no! Oh no!
oh no!
Two post-apocalyptic points, and I think we've made the other one of them before, which is like this is showcasing how World War Z should have been done. That
Agree.
vignettes would have
Mhm.
fucking worked so beautifully. Just watching all these stories pieced together of the end of the world in a zombie apocalypse, and then two, the thought that I had on the last episode last night is that I just had this epiphany. I was like, "Fuck." This is so bleak and dark and depressing. This is The Road. It's just a more action-packed The Road.
Or did you
Road,
watch what was that show? Fucking the one about
Walking
the
Dead.
No, what's the show that they made before that the showrunners made before this one?
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl, yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
God damn, nothing could be as bleak as Chernobyl.
I
because
know.
Chernobyl happened. Chernobyl,
Yeah.
Chernobyl
I know
is
it's
a
not
real-
it's real.
Oh my God. No, but and also props to the casting of Melanie Linsky as their
Love
leader.
Melanie Linsky.
And just her casual,
I love her.
Her casual, like, I don't think the character ever raises her voice, but just the casual, like, oh no, I actually don't give a shit about justice. That's not what this is about.
Dude, but I love that they interviewed her because she was getting some flack about being cast in the show because
Yeah.
they're like, who's this like frumpy old woman that like wouldn't survive in this post-apocalypse nightmare world? And they were like, that's precisely why she was cast because
Yeah.
she's like the brains of the operation, not necessarily the brawn of the operation. And I think she's perfectly cast.
She was the brains and the heart of it.
Yeah.
And it was a bad
Agreed.
heart.
well,
Agreed.
and I think that's okay. So we're all caught up. All of us here are caught up with the show.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think really, obviously, the episode ends tragically
Sure.
with Henry, but I love the way in that moment you can see Henry's thinking. In his mind, he destroyed a society to
Yeah.
save his brother, and now his brother is gone. And so in his mind, this is all his fault because he is not aware of what we're aware of, the audience, which is the scene where right-hand guy, Melanie Linsky's right-hand guy, who plays it plays a character in the game. I can't remember. It's the brother.
Oh, he does? He was great.
Yeah,
He
he's
was
real good.
His presence on screen was great. I really,
Really
liked
good.
him.
We're not.
Forte?
He's
Yeah,
he
he looked like Will Forte.
Yeah. He's not aware of that scene where he's like, well, no, your brother was great, but he didn't do anything. Like, and his implication that this kind of probably would have been how things went. And
Yeah.
this isn't really his fault. He's
Wait,
not aware of that.
Can we call that guy Will Three-Tay?
And that's our time for.
And
Guys,
that's our
thank you
time.
so much for DJ, where can people check out your awesome comic again? And thank you for being on the show.
No, thank you as always for having me. HELLBENTComicBook.com. Go check it out, please. And thank you. We really appreciate it. Any comics are a labor of love. We need your support. Also, but not for nothing, I think you're going to love the comic. So, and if you've checked it out so far, make sure to get the third and final volume. If you haven't, you can get all three in one go and read the whole story in one sitting.
Thank you, DJ. And there's a link in the description of the YouTube video for those of you that would like to be lazy. Elliot, anything you want to add here?
Thanks for having me.
Elliot, are you excited about that Dick Tracy news? You going to share that with Grace?
I'm shaking. I can't wait. We have to go. We're gonna run into the house. Maybe you're not gonna believe it. You need to sit down first.
Remember Dick Tracy? First of all, 2 words: Dick Tracy.
Trey, hold on. Trey.
Joe, anything you want to add, buddy?
No, sir. It's been great having you, DJ. You always bring a level of professionalism and intelligent conversation, and it's refreshing because we're a bunch of idiots.
Yes, we're degenerate morons.
It's a dignified podcast.
And guys, shout out to Kevin Plachy, who's also a little under the weather. We hope he feels better soon. We'll have him back on the show again in no time. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you to the patrons. Thank you to the video viewers on youtube.com/the Valleyfolk. And we appreciate you very much. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.